that you wish you never saw. It's scary on the streets in the nighttime. So when the sun goes down, you hear the doves cry. Ricochet shots when the bullets fly. Where the innocent die and killers stay alive. It's a 9 for a 9. It's a 9 for a 9. You either do or you die. Put it on the line until the death of me. The victory is mine. I'm on a winning spree. They hate to see me win, so they envy me. I'm on a different level, like my energy. Like my energy. Like my energy. I'm on a different level, like my energy. I'm on a different level, like my energy. My energy. I'm on a different level, like my energy. My energy. I'm on a different level, like my energy. I'm up before the sun come. I'm one of the greatest, I'm a one of one. I'd rather die hard with a loaded gun. I take the hard route like the chosen one, I'm all in it. I'm loyal to the lineage, I evolved in it. Now it's no limit, no ending to this energy, it's infinite. Break down the barriers and draw a line in it. Yeah, I put it on the line for the life of me. The victory is mine, no losing streak. They hate to see me win, so they envy me. I'm on a different level like my energy. I'm on a different level like my energy. Like my energy. I'm on a different level like my energy. Like my energy. To my very last breath. Till there ain't nothing left. I'ma push it to the max. I'ma do it to the death. To my very last breath. Till there ain't nothing left. I'ma push it to the max. I'ma do it to the death. My energy. I'm on a different level like my energy. My energy. I'm on a different level.
Ladies
like my
and
energy.
gentlemen, our live broadcast on Valley Sports will begin in 2 minutes. Please take your seats.
Hit the stage now, lights and cameras on. Yes, I'm giving them what they want, but no, I will not ever conform. Cause I'm outside of the norm, still with a spectacular form. From the blood, sweat, and the tears shed every time I perform. And whenever you doing your thing, yep, people will hate on it usually. But I'm just as human as you, I just look good while doing it. And they telling me I have so much dough, I won't know what to do with it. Well, until then, I'ma continue maneuvering because I am the champion. What a spectacular athlete. I am the champion. If I do say so myself. Lights, cameras, action.
This is the beginning of a new day. God has given me this day to use as I will. I can waste it, or I can use it for good.
But it's checkmate, we ain't selling short, know the work. Ain't nowhere to hide. You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind. It's up to you.
What I do today is very important because I'm exchanging a day of my life for it.
Listen, I'ma get it, you know I be on the run. Yeah, now we coming for the bags. If they said I couldn't have, get the team. I got a vision for the things you ain't believe. And here's the motto, hard work is over everything.
When tomorrow comes, this day will be gone forever, leaving something in its place I have traded for it.
But we ain't letting up, we never done that. Ain't nowhere to hide. You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind. 'Cause I be on the...
I want it to be gain, not loss, good, not evil,
You know I be on the run.
success, not failure, in order that I shall not forget the price I paid for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2023 American Heart Association Paul Bear Bryant Awards. Please welcome your host, Dusty Dvorak, college football analyst for ESPN and ABC.
Good evening! Good evening and welcome to Houston, Texas for the 2023 American Heart Association Paul Bear Bryant Awards presented by Marathon Oil. I'm Dusty Dvorak, and it's an absolute honor to be here tonight to celebrate the best of the best in college football coaching. While we honor the 6 finalists for Coach of the Year, tonight we'll also award the Heart of a Champion to Mark D'Antonio. You all know him as a legendary coach at Michigan State, but you'll learn more about why he is so revered by players, coaches, and the community. We will also bestow the Lifetime Achievement Award to Hall of Famer, national champion, former Bear Bryant Award winner, my former coach, and a man that changed my life, Bob Stoops. For 37 years, the American Heart Association has joined with the Bryant family to raise awareness and important funding for the fight against heart disease and stroke. And all of you here tonight in Houston and those at home can play a part in this fight. You can text BEAR23 to 41444 to donate or access the QR code on your screen to give. And be sure to follow us across social media at Bryant Awards for behind-the-scenes coverage of tonight's awesome event. While every year is important, this year's ceremony has a special relevance as it marks the 40th anniversary of Coach Bryant's passing. To his grandson, Mark, who is here with us tonight, and to the entire Bryant family, we are pleased to dedicate tonight to his memory and his legacy of excellence. To get things kicked off for us, I would like to welcome presenting sponsor, Marathon Oil's chairman, president, and CEO, Lee Tillman.
Well, thank you so much, Dusty. We really appreciate the kind introduction. Just want to say Marathon Oil could not be prouder to be the presenting sponsor of tonight's Bear Bryant Awards. You know, as we honor Bear Bryant, as we recognize these tremendous coaches this evening, we're also raising funds for such an important cause in the American Heart Association. So it was so great to see people give generously. Very much appreciate that. But for almost a century, the American Heart Association has been leading the fight for longer, healthier lives. And they've been doing that through really leading the battle against heart disease and stroke. We've been the presenting sponsor now for 14 years, and we've now committed, of course, to take that all the way through 2024, which happens to be the centennial anniversary of the American Heart Association. The powerful combination of the Bryant family, the Heart Association, these great coaches that so generously give of their time really is foundational to this partnership that we've developed with this event.
How did Coach Bryant's example of leadership and excellence align with the mission at Marathon Oil?
Not surprisingly, Marathon Oil is a results-driven company. We strive every day to deliver value to our shareholders and really strive for excellence in all aspects of our business. Similar to that, Coach Bryant was equally focused on results. He wanted to deliver championship caliber teams and really set the bar for his peers. However, both Marathon Oil and Coach Bryant recognize that it's not just about results. It's about how you deliver those results. For us, that means delivering those results safely, with environmental stewardship, and ensuring business integrity. For Coach Bryant, what that meant was not just winning football games, but ensuring that he had prepared his student athletes for winning at the game of life, well beyond their playing years.
Extremely well said. Thank you, Lee, and to all of your colleagues at Marathon Oil, a huge thanks from all of us here tonight.
Thank you, Dusty.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lee. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, let's hear it one more time for Lee Tillman and Marathon Oil for their continued support of the Bryant Awards and the American Heart Association. The important work of the American Heart Association can be seen every day across the country. We saw it firsthand earlier this month when the nation watched in shock as Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin fell to the ground suffering from cardiac arrest. If it wasn't for the medical staff and the immediate care and CPR he received, Damar might not have made it. All of our coaches here tonight are part of a very special group. Like Coach Bryant, these men lead student athletes not only to be prepared to compete on the field, but in the game of life. Last month, tragically, we lost a member of this fraternity to complications from a heart issue. Many of the coaches here tonight and those watching across the country had a special relationship with Coach Mike Leach. He revolutionized much of the way football is played today, and his impact on the game will last for years to come. Our thoughts, our prayers go out to the Leach family and all of those lucky enough to call him a friend. Welcome back to Houston, Texas, and the 2023 American Heart Association Paul Bear Bryant Awards presented by Marathon Oil. The 2022 season was exciting, to say the least. The 6 gentlemen you're about to meet led their teams to new heights of success and provided drama and intrigue throughout the season. Let's meet our 2022 Coach of the Year finalists.
There we go. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide for 4 quarters. All the little things are going to add up. We're good enough every freaking week.
Trust the process. Go 1-0 today. There's no secrets.
Don't ever take winning for granted. You guys got me?
Beat them every day.
They got to see us. They got to look us in the eye for 4. Keep with it. Keep grinding. Keep doing it because it is hard to do.
Wow. Nothing better than college football and nothing better than great coaches. Congratulations to all you coaches. We'll hear from each of them in just a few minutes. But right now, it's time to give out our first piece of hardware. For the 3rd consecutive year, the Bryant Awards is honoring a coach that took the nation by storm with Fan Favorite Coach of the Year. Fans from all over the country voted in record numbers this year for their favorite coach. And now we get to learn who came out on top. Please join me in welcoming to the stage from Fan Favorite sponsor Accenture, Marty Rogers, Senior Managing Director, and Sandra Ruman, Managing Director.
Are you ready? The 2023 Fan Favorite Coach of the Year is Coach Josh Heupel from the University of Tennessee. Congratulations.
Unfortunately, Coach Heupel was unable to join us this evening. So on behalf of Accenture and our Accenture team, we accept this award on his behalf, and we look forward to presenting this award to him in Knoxville. Coach Heupel has sent this message to us this evening.
Good afternoon. It's head coach Josh Heupel here at the University of Tennessee. I hope everyone is doing well. I would like to thank the Bryant family, the Bryant Executive Leadership Team, and the American Heart Association for the honor of being a finalist for this prestigious award, which continues to celebrate the legacy of Coach Bryant. Thank you to Accenture for sponsoring the Bryant Award Fan Vote. As the fan vote winner, I'd like to thank Vol Nation and all the fans who voted for this honor. As illustrated this season, there is truly no place like Rocky Top, and Vol Nation is at the heart of that. From our sold-out crowds, the atmosphere on the 3rd Saturday in October versus Alabama, Vol Walk, and your turnout on the road, our team thanks you for your unwavering support. As I have always said, Coach of the Year awards are a direct reflection of your players and what they have accomplished. We've been fortunate as a staff to coach a great group of young men who came together and turned this program around in the last 2 years. To see them go out with an 11-win season and a victory in the Orange Bowl was special, so I share this honor with them. Congratulations to all the finalists for the Bryant Coach of the Year Award, and thank you again.
I mean, what an amazing job in just his 2nd season Coach Heupel and his staff have done there on Rocky Top. Again, congratulations to Coach Josh Heupel. When we come back, we'll hand out more awards here at the 2023 Bear Bryant Awards, and soon find out who will take home the 2022 Bryant Award.
Coming up next, the 2023 Heart of a Champion and Lifetime Achievement Awards.
Welcome back. Please help me welcome to the stage Doug Lawson, American Heart Association, Houston Board President and CEO, St. Luke's Health, and Senior Vice President of Operations, Texas Division with Common Spirit Health. Doug, we're about to meet a great coach and an even better man, one that truly has the heart of a champion. In 2020, the Paul Bear Bryant Heart of a Champion Award was established to recognize an individual whose notable contributions and positive influence have helped to define the ways we enjoy, watch, and engage in sports. Winners of this award exemplify the same exceptional characteristics for which Coach Bryant was known: integrity, leadership, perseverance, teamwork, humility, and of course, grit. Mark D'Antonio began his coaching career as a grad assistant at Ohio University in 1980. In the following years, his career led him to various coaching roles with schools throughout the Midwest. In the early 2000s, Coach D'Antonio landed at the helm of an Ohio State defense, which would go on to win the national championship in 2003. The next season, he got his first head coaching job at the University of Cincinnati. 3 years later, Michigan State named Coach D'Antonio its 24th head coach, launching the greatest era in Spartan history. D'Antonio's Spartans still hold the active record for consecutive bowl victories. But all of that success almost never happened. In September of 2010, just hours after one of the most famous plays in Michigan State history, a touchdown pass on a fake field goal to beat Notre Dame, D'Antonio checked himself into a hospital with chest pains, and soon after, he suffered a heart attack. Coach D'Antonio returned later that season to face arch-rival Michigan in Ann Arbor, where the Spartans won in dramatic fashion. Coach D'Antonio called it a career in 2020 with the school's highest win total and greatest winning percentage. Coach D'Antonio has a long history of helping others off the field by promoting healthy, vibrant communities through his charitable and community service work. His efforts were nationally recognized in 2016 when he received the Gene Stallings Award, given each year to a coach based on their community service. Coach D'Antonio is more than a great football coach. He lives his life and serves his community with the heart of a champion. It is our pleasure to present the 2023 Bear Bryant Heart of a Champion Award to head coach Mark D'Antonio.
Thank you very much, and it's a privilege to be here tonight. I want to thank the Bear Bryant Association, the American Heart Association, Marathon Oil, and St. Luke's for the award. They almost got me in 2010. They almost got me. Thank goodness that my wife, who was here tonight, helped me through that and recognized that we actually got in the car with our team doctor and drove down to the hospital and walked in, opened the car door, walked in, and just wasn't feeling, just feeling a little bit off. And guy said, the doctor said, gave me an EKG, said, you're having a heart attack. I said, right now? People are waiting outside. But that is the case. But early detection, that's what I can say in watching the videos up here. Early detection will make all the difference in the world. I was 54 years old and went on to coach another 9 years or 8 years or whatever it was. I want to congratulate Bob Stoops. Where's Coach Stoops at? Right here. One of my best friends. I want to also congratulate the finalists for tonight's award. You know, from my perspective, when you look down the list of the people who have been here, it's college football's finest. Premier coaches. You can't get here without having great success, and to be a part of this makes it very, very special and very humbling. I got 5 things that I talk about to our players constantly. Relationships, keeping a passion for your education, got to win because there is a standard, got to give back to the community, And finally, you got to work at it every single day. You got to work, and there's got to be a discipline to it. But I want to thank everybody for having me and my wife. It's been a special night for us, and I want to say go green, and I'll look forward to the rest of the night. Thank you.
Congratulations again to Coach D'Antonio. That's a bad man right there, one heck of a football coach. I would now like to invite to the stage Greg Harrelson, Senior Vice President and CEO of Memorial Hermann Texas Medical Center, who will help me with welcoming our next honoree. First awarded in 2000, the Paul Bear Bryant Lifetime Achievement Award recognizes the career accomplishments of the finest coaches in college football. The award highlights the outstanding achievements and extraordinary contributions which have reflected honor and sportsmanship to the game of football throughout the coach's career. Bob Stoops was a 4-year starting defensive back at the University of Iowa, where he earned all Big Ten honors and was named team MVP in 1982. Following his senior season, Stoops began his coaching career as a volunteer graduate assistant with his alma mater. He went on to various coaching positions at Kent State and Kansas State before taking over as defensive coordinator at the University of Florida, where he led a Gators defense that would win the 1997 national championship. In 1999, Stoops was named head coach at the University of Oklahoma, and the rest, it's history. Coach took the Sooners to 4 national championship games, winning it all in 2000 to cap off an undefeated season, which earned him the Paul Bear Bryant Coach of the Year award right here. Coach Stoops is the winningest coach in Sooners history. He led Oklahoma to 10 Big 12 championships and a bowl game appearance in each of his 18 seasons as head coach. In 2021, Stoops was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. Tonight, it is my absolute honor to honor Bob Stoops with the Bear Bryant Lifetime Achievement Award.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. To have your name mentioned in the same sentence with Paul Bear Bryant as a coach, all of us here know as coaches, that's like the best of all time. I mean, are you kidding me? And for the second time for me. So I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful. Thank you for this recognition. I'm really proud to be here with so many great people. One of my best friends, Mark D'Antonio, and Becky, the best people in the world. We were buddies back when we were graduate assistants, all you coaches. We were back in '83. We met each other as 20-year-olds running around, going to convention together. Love these guys, and we've been very close friends a long time. I'm proud to be here with these college coaches that are being recognized tonight. They're so great. Love watching them, what they're doing. So anyway, I just feel, then I look at the list of past recipients: Bill Snyder, Hayden Fry, Barry Switzer, all mentors of mine, Barry Alvarez, on and on, that have been Lifetime Achievement Award winners, that are all mentors of mine, that people I grew up following and that mentored me. So I'm very grateful, and none of us get here alone. This is the ultimate team game, football. So my family, my assistant coaches through the years, my the support staff, my players. Dusty Dvorak, one of my great players, the sacrifice, the hard work, they're the ones that make us good or not. And I appreciate the hard work of the players, the assistant coaches, on and on. So anyway, this is a reflection of all of them. Thank you for this tonight. Appreciate it.
It's awesome. He's one of the absolute best, and it was a privilege to get a chance to play for him. One more time for Coach Bob Stoops. All right, when we come back, we'll hear the inspiring story of a University of Texas football player and his fight against heart disease.
Coming up next, a very special Open Your Heart story.
Marathon Oil is proud to extend our commitment to the mission of the American Heart Association and the Paul Bear Bryant Awards through 2024, leading up to the association's 100th anniversary. We support the American Heart Association's 2024 Health Equity Impact Goal that champions health equity and is working to ensure that everyone has the same opportunity for a full and healthy life.
Association Paul Bear Bryant Awards Chair, Sean Lafferty. Senior Partner, KPMG LLP.
Good evening, everyone. I am proud to serve as the chairman for the 2023 American Heart Association Paul Bear Bryant Awards. Tonight, it's about celebrating excellence in college football, both on the field and off the field. But it's also about a lot more. It's about the fight against heart disease, stroke, vascular disease. Thank you to those who are joining us here tonight in Houston in person in this beautiful ballroom at the Post Oak Hotel, and for those of you watching at home. Your support raises funds to help support research, educational outreach programs in underserved communities suffering from significant health disparities. It helps to teach the life-saving skills of hands-only CPR and so much more. Tonight, we've met some amazing men that are leading their communities and leading their teams. But I'm going to introduce you to one more amazing person tonight. He is an overcomer. This is Peter's story.
I think it's important to tell football players, live in the moment. Don't take anything you're going through for granted. Take all the memories, soak them all in, because you only have them for that time and you can never go back in time.
For Peter Paggi, playing football for the University of Texas was a dream. Going back to 2019, he was ready to live that dream as a freshman defensive lineman. But shortly after starting practice with the Longhorns, Paggi realized something was wrong.
I started to experience issues with my heart in my dorm. I remember I was just playing video games, and then all of a sudden I started getting a shorter breath. And then after practice you get weighed, I started noticing I was losing weight. I went from like 260 to like 250 in like 2-3 days. They did a chest x-ray and then they found out that my heart was enlarged. So that same day I went to the heart clinic, and then the doctor said, yeah, your heart's really big right now, so we got to take care of you before this gets bad. They said I had cardiomyopathy. It's an enlarged heart, and your heart doesn't pump blood to your body as fast.
Peter was on a lot of machines in the hospital. They had to put him on a life support for his heart because his heart could not function on its own. He's thinking about football and will he be able to play football again? All these emotions that he was going through, thinking about his life, that was very hard.
I decided to retire whenever like Donald, the head of the trainers, came up to me and he told me, this stuff is not getting better. If you play with this heart on the field, like it won't be good. And he's like, I know you love football and all, but like you gotta look at your life. Football is not bigger than your life.
Losing him was big. He was going to become a great player for us, and I wish he, would have got the opportunity to just do what he came here to do.
It kind of hurts at the time because all the work you put in, you didn't really get to show what you're capable of. It took me like a whole year to like really accept that retirement, to be honest.
2021, towards the end of the year, the doctor started letting us know that he might need a transplant. And we were told that when you get the heart, the person has to be the same height and weight. And Peter being 6'5" and 230 pounds, that was the most difficult part. So what are the odds of getting the right heart that's going to match his body?
I went through a lot of stuff while waiting for the heart, and like that process taught me to be grateful for the little things, and also to be patient. It also taught me like wisdom and the support group you have. Like I didn't know how many people actually like supported me, like all the texts I received, so that meant a lot to me.
After nearly 3 years of waiting, wondering, and hoping, Paggi and his family finally got some good news when the phone rang while Peter was in the hospital with his mother.
I answered it, and the lady's like, I just want to tell you, you got a new heart. I was like, Mom, I got a new heart. She's like, you're kidding me. Yeah, I got it.
I was like, oh my goodness. I was so happy. I just cried tears of joy.
And then we said a prayer because we were very thankful for God giving us that blessing. I was just thankful because I didn't have to wait no more.
On August 25th, 2022, Peter's surgery was a success. While recovering, Peter was able to rejoin his teammates on the sidelines this season for the first time since 2019.
That was heartwarming. I almost shed a tear. He's my brother, and just seeing him happy and healthy, it was a great moment just to see him for the first time. It was almost like a movie, like where they spin the camera real quick. It was like, it definitely just lit up when I saw him.
You already know, it's your boy Roshan, #2, aka Peter's roommate. You about to turn up, and get this dub, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, all that.
I think it meant a lot for him. Hold up. Yeah, I think it meant a lot for him just to, be around the guys. And when he came back and sat next to my locker, it just brought back so many memories of him just being my locker mate. So it definitely hits home for me just because I know that going through a situation like that, it's not easy. I was just happy to see him.
I've made a lot of relationships with a lot of people, and all the people I've made memories here with, it means a lot to me, and they've changed the person I am coming from high school. And Even though I didn't get to play, it felt awesome to see that they love me, even if I'm not playing with them.
Through this whole experience, I must say that he's become a much stronger person, and he's not taking anything for granted. He takes time to listen to things and very, very appreciative about life.
If you say heart to me, I just think of my whole journey, all I've been through, and all I've overcome. The one thing I always take with me from this recovery is to always pass this on to others and share my testimony. Whenever someone feels down, just be able to tell them my story, and hopefully it motivates them.
Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Pudgy is here with us tonight. Peter, you're an overcomer. Thank you for sharing your story with us. So please, help others like Peter by donating now via the QR code appearing on your screen or by texting BEAR23 to the number 41444. Thank you. Dusty, it's back to you.
Thanks. Thank you, Sean, for your leadership, and thank you, Peter, for sharing your incredible story with us. When we come back, we'll meet the finalists for the 2022 Bear Bryant Coach of the Year Award. Don't go away and stay with us.
Coming up next, the 2022 American Heart Association Paul Bear Bryant Awards Coach of the Year finalists.
The world keeps changing, so my mission is turning challenges into opportunities. I'm opting in, signing up, and using my voice. Today, I recommit to my shine, for myself, for my community, for our health. There is strength and possibility, and new opportunities are coming. With the American Heart Association by my side, I'm ready to thrive, because we live fierce.
to the 2023 Bear Bryant Coach of the Year Awards presented by Marathon Oil. It is now my pleasure to bring to the stage the finalists for the 2022 Coach of the Year. In his first season at TCU, Coach Dykes led the Horned Frogs to an undefeated regular season and a spot in the national championship game. Please welcome from Texas Christian University, head coach Sonny Dykes. Coach Fritz led the Green Wave to a 12-2 record, won the American Athletic Conference, and beat USC in dramatic fashion in the Cotton Bowl. Please welcome from Tulane University, head coach Willie Fritz. Coach Traylor led the Roadrunners to a 11-3 record, a Conference USA championship, and a berth in the Cure Bowl. Joining us on stage from the University of Texas at San Antonio, head coach Jeff Traylor. Our remaining three finalists were unable to join us this evening, but each led their teams to remarkable seasons. Head coach Jim Harbaugh led his Wolverines to a second consecutive Big Ten championship and a berth in the college football playoff. From the University of Michigan, head coach Jim Harbaugh. Our next finalist is the back-to-back national championship winner. From the Georgia Bulldogs, head coach Kirby Smart. Finally, Coach Josh Heupel led the Tennessee Volunteers to an 11-2 record and a victory over Clemson in the Orange Bowl. From the University of Tennessee, head coach Josh Heupel. All right, fellas, now it's time to put your feet to the fire. Have a little conversation, have a chat, and do what I typically do, ask a bunch of questions to some excellent coaches. So all of you guys, I'm going to ask a few questions that kind of go around the horn. We'll start with you, Coach Dykes, and we'll work our way around and get through some important stuff. Just being here at this unbelievable event, the Paul Bear Bryant Award, Coach Stoops talked about what that name means in the coaching fraternity. What's it like for you to be sitting up here on stage with a chance to win this award tonight?
Well, it's really, really humbling for me personally. I mean, just to be up here with Coach D'Antonio and Coach Stoops, I mean, those are two giants in our profession. The past winners of this award, just a really prestigious list. You know, it's as I said, very humbling. You know, just really fortunate to be here and be a part of it and have a chance to be in this profession. It's a great profession. We get a chance to have an impact on young people, and we're really blessed to have a chance to do it. Go Frogs.
Go Frogs.
We need a roll wave out there someplace. Come on. There we go. No, I'm also very humbled and honored to be here. This is, really appreciate the American Heart Association, hospitality they've extended to myself and my family. And as you talked about with Coach D'Antonio and Coach Stoops, those guys are real, what you want to accomplish in coaching. They've done it the right way. And I know Jeff and Sonny do the same thing at their respective schools. So just very honored to be here.
Coach Traylor?
Oh, it's surreal. I mean, I was a Texas high school football coach for 15 years. These guys are my heroes. I've had guys play for Coach Stoops. The respect I have for Coach D'Antonio from a distance. Watched Willie and Sonny's teams practice a million times. So I'd probably still be in Big Sandy, Texas if Danny Long hadn't hired me at Jacksonville back in 1993. So appreciate you showing up, Coach.
I'll start with you, Coach Traylor. When you hear the name Bear Bryant, first thing that pops into your mind?
Junction City boys, reading about it, hearing the stories, I see coaches getting in trouble nowadays for practices being too hard, too long, and I just always think about what that would look like back in the day, I guess.
Coach Fritz?
You know, one of my mentors in coaching was a guy by the name of Elwood Kettler, and Elwood was the quarterback for the Junction Boys. And I coached with him a few years and friends with him for a long time until he passed a few years ago. And he'd always talk about Coach Bryant. That's how he always referred to him and talked about the lessons that he learned from Coach Bryant. So I feel like I kind of knew him a little bit through Coach Kettler, but what a great man and coach.
You know, I knew Coach Bryant since I was a kid in terms of my dad talked about him all the time. My late father, Spike Dykes, was a huge admirer of Coach Bryant's, enough so that in 1969, he and 3 other high school coaches, he was the head coach at Big Spring High School at the time, got in a Volkswagen Bug and drove from Big Spring, Texas to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And Coach Bryant let him watch practice and had a huge impact on my father, and, you know, learned some lessons that he took from that day. And we thought so much of him. For on my 12th birthday, I got an autographed picture of Coach Bryant. That's what I received. Still have it to this day in my office. And his legacy's just meant so much to all of us in football. And again, it's just such an honor to be a part of this.
No doubt. Yeah, absolutely. All right, a little more just individual questions for a little bit. I'll start with you, Coach Fritz. After you guys win football games, you crowd surf with your players. It's awesome. It's one of the great, you know, some coaches dance, you're crowd surfing. Where did that come from? What's the origination of that?
Well, I can't dance, so I had to find something else to do. And no, I just started doing it. I'd get up and I'd do a little song after the game, and you know, I only do it after a win, so my players catch me when I jump. I actually have one of my former players out here, Michael Bishop. Michael played for me at Blinn Junior College and then went to Kansas State, and he just got inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame yesterday. I don't know where Michael is, but would you stand up, Michael? Right there. Love you, buddy. So proud of him. And so we started in 1993 at Blinn, and now there's cameras in there every once in a while, so other people know about it, but I've been doing it for a long time.
Are you ever worried that they're not going to catch you? Like what?
I only do it after wins.
All right, I'm going to go to you, Coach Dykes. I was talking with your amazing wife earlier, and she said that you like to keep it loose at practice. You let the players, in conjunction with your strength staff, make a playlist. But every now and again, you make the playlist. What's on a Sonny Dykes playlist? Give me a couple of songs that we're listening to out there at practice.
Well, it kind of runs the gamut, really. You got to have a little bit of country, some Fort Worth flavor, maybe some Pat Green in there a little bit. Shout out to Pat. You got to have a little bit of old school rap. You know, got to have a little Ice Cube and some of those guys in there. Just, you know, takes me back to my youth in South Central LA. Kidding. It takes me back to Lubbock, Texas, actually. But you know, it's been we try to mix it up a little bit and get a little bit of flavor of everything. And you know, the one thing that I enjoy is sneaking stuff in, and they don't ever have any doubt when it's my playlist, because they're kind of always about halfway through practice. I get these kind of weird looks, and they're like, "This has got to be your playlist, right?" But it's something fun that we try to do from time to time.
I love that. Absolutely love that, Coach Traylor. It's the first time I've actually met you, but I've had a chance to talk to you on my radio show a bunch. And no matter how early it is, you're always up, you're ready to roll. You bring incredible energy. Is that just the way it's always been going back to Gilmer High School? Have you just always had that infectious energy about you?
I guess. I've never really thought of it that way before. I'm a lot. I know that. And my wife would tell you I'm exhausting at all times. And yeah, that's just the way I'm wired. But I thought it was normal, but I guess it's not, as I learned.
Well, players feed off their head coaches. And so I think it's awesome. You've been at UTSA 3 years now, and in 2 years, you've won 2 conference championships. Just an unbelievable job. Before you took the job, you said it was a sleeping giant. What about that job did you know there was the opportunity to have so much success?
When I was working for Coach Strong at the University of Texas, the job opened up, and I really wanted it. And I didn't get it, thank goodness, because I wasn't ready for it. You know, life never makes sense when you're looking forwards. It always makes sense when you look back. And just from the distance, it just kind of fit me. 7th largest city in the country, the Alamo Dome, the relationship I knew I had with the Texas high school coaches. It was similar to Gilmer. when I got to Gilmer, they weren't very good, and I know when you're not very good, there's nowhere to go but up. And I got a great quarterback in Frank Harris, and he's made me look really smart for 3 years. So that helps always.
Quarterbacks help everybody, right? I think all these coaches up here would agree to that. Coach, you've been all over. You mentioned Blinn Junior College. I've talked with you over the last couple of years. You've done everything there is to do, to even washing the laundry. How important is it, do you think, to the success you guys have been able to have in your teams, that you never lose sight of that you always keep that in the forefront?
Yeah, I never lose sight of that. Matter of fact, Sonny and I played against each other. He was at Navarro Community College. I was at Blinn many years ago.
They beat us twice.
Well,
and Michael Bishop, it's your fault, by the way.
But, you know, I've always thought for coaches, I think it's easier to go up because you appreciate maybe what you didn't have and what you have all of a sudden. And, you know, my family and I, we've loved every place we've been, whether it was Blinn Junior College or University of Central Missouri. You know, we went back down to Sam Houston. I got a degree from Sam Houston myself, and then went over to Georgia Southern, and now we're at the great Tulane University. So I just think you got to, you know, be where your feet are and, you know, do the very best you can every single day, and that's what we try to do.
From 2 wins, ladies and gentlemen, a season ago to 12 wins for Coach Fritz. Just an unbelievable turnaround this year. You and I have talked about it quite a bit over the years, and when you had a chance to come back to the state of Texas, that was really important for you. You mentioned your father has been in the state of Texas forever. When you got that opportunity to come back, and now you've had multiple chances now in the Dallas Metro, how important was that? What is it about the state of Texas that is so near and dear to you?
Well, you know, I grew up in Texas, and my first job was high school coach in Monahans High School out in West Texas, and then went on to Richardson Pierce High School, and then on to Navarro Junior College. And, you know, my dad was a high school coach and college coach for 40 years in the state of Texas. So I got to see how much the relationships with high school coaches, with other coaches in the profession, what that meant to my dad. And I always admired the relationship he had with other coaches and the mutual respect that they shared for each other. You know, there's no state where football has more value than the state of Texas. I mean, it's incredibly important to the fabric of this state. We have outstanding high school coaches. Coach Traylor was one for a long time, did an unbelievable job at Gilmer. And you know, it builds up communities, it brings people together. There's no other place in Texas, really, where you see so many people united for one cause on a Friday night. And so just having a chance to be back here where football is so important and means so much has just been a real blessing to me.
As a former Texas high school football player, I co-sign everything you said. So you were talking about Coach Traylor. You guys may not know, but the stadium in Gilmer, Texas is named after Coach Traylor. When you go back, what's that like, pulling into Gilmer, Texas, and seeing your name right there on the stadium?
I'm going to embarrass one of Sonny's players right now, but when I was at another school, I had one of his wide receivers committed, Savion Williams from Marshall, Texas. Savion's running at the Gilmer Jeff Traylor Stadium as a track meet. Savion FaceTimes me and goes, "Coach, you're not going to believe this. This stadium has the same name you do." I said, Savion, that is me. That's my stadium. He said, "I only thought they did that for dead people." And I said, "No, I'm still alive, Savion." So, true story.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Coach, I mentioned it a second ago, 2 wins to 12 wins. We don't have a ton of time, but as quickly as you can, how the turnaround? How were you guys able to flip it and have such a magical run?
We had a lot of obstacles to overcome the year before with Hurricane Ida, and we went up to Birmingham, Alabama for 27 nights, and you know, so we had some hardships, but really the key to it was we were a player-led team this year. I think both Jeff and Sonny would tell you that when you get it from coach-led to player-led, it really improves the program, and had a lot of veteran leadership. And, you know, they said they knew we were going to be better than what we were the year before, and just worked extremely hard. I'd come in on the weekends or Saturday or Sunday, and there might be 30, 40 guys out there working out on the field on their own, voluntary basis. And I think that was the key, just player-led group.
incredible run. I was there for the American Conference Championship when you guys beat UCF, and I was actually there on the radio call when you guys had that miraculous comeback against USC. Incredible to watch. And now you realize that what you've done raising the bar for first-year head coaches, I mean, the level of expectation, if Sonny Dice can do it, everyone's going to expect them to do it. But in their first year, to go undefeated 12-0, inches away from a Big 12 championship, and to compete for a national championship, how are you guys able to flip it, turn it around, and get to the heights you're able to get to this season?
Well, it was a heck of a ride. It really was. It was one of those special teams. You know, when you take over a program, you don't really know how quickly you can get the buy-in from the players. I think that's where it begins. And, you know, quite frankly, when we got there, we had a couple of days in December, and it didn't go particularly well. But our players did an incredible job, I think, of getting together and deciding when we came back in January, look, we're gonna roll our sleeves up, we're gonna go to work, and we're gonna do what the coaches ask us to do. And when they came back, and they did. And they had a tremendous attitude. They did everything we asked. I mean, we asked them to do a lot more, you know, from nutrition to rest to recovery to all these little things. I mean, they had to carry a water bottle with them all the time just to try to teach them the importance of doing things off the field. And then once we started spring ball, then, you know, we felt like we had an opportunity to have a pretty good team. Added some players to the transfer portal, which was going to be really important for us as well. We lost some players via transfer that hurt us, but added some guys that came in and really took some leadership roles. And look, you don't go on the kind of run that we don't this year without great leadership. I mean, you know, you think about guys like Max Duggan and what he meant, Steve Avila, what he meant, D. Winters. I mean, those guys were just kind of once-in-a-lifetime type leaders. And they really took control of our program and went to work and set the expectations really high. It's just a joy to come to work and be around those guys every day. And, you know, we started the season, we got a little bit better, we kept getting better, and started to get some confidence and believe in each other, and then, you know, showed a lot of resilience as well. So couldn't be more proud of those guys and what they were able to accomplish this year.
So much fun to watch. That Fiesta Bowl, I don't think anybody's going to forget that anytime soon. And for you, Coach, last year you guys win Conference USA. That was more of a veteran team. You had a lot of new faces, injuries along the way, yet you guys found a way to get back and win another conference championship. What was the key for y'all's success and to sustain it in your third season but second straight championship run?
I think those losses early, I don't want to talk about them much, but I mean, the triple overtime loss to Houston was just a crushing blow to us early in the year. To have played Texas so tough, and then, you know, we threw the pick six there late in the game. That was tough to get off to a 1-2 start. And I told them that the year before we were undefeated the entire season pretty much. And I thought just that mental toughness, that edge it was going to give us was going to help us get there. And we could have been 14-0 and we could have been 4-10. So, I mean, we were in a ton of close ball games with that quarterback. And we believe strongly in our 2-1-0 triangle of toughness culture. I know it's the most overused word in the world right now with culture, but our kids really do believe in our brand. And those guys that wear the single digits for us, like, we're going to rip them all off. Like Frank Harris, that zero's coming off when we get in spring ball. He'll wear his old high school number. I mean, Zachary Franklin's number 4, it's coming off of him when we get back home. And he'll be in number 18. And I don't even know who the heck they are in the spring. And we'll revoke those numbers. And in a time where you got transfer portal, NIL, and you got old school coach ripping jersey numbers off and voting for them to get them back on, I don't know how smart that is, but it's been working for us so far right now. The portal's done in 7 more days. Hang in there, guys. Don't leave me.
They'll finally get a chance to sleep, maybe, when that portal closes. You guys are going to a different conference next year. You're going to be banging heads with Coach Fritz in the American. How exciting is that to lead a program to a new conference?
It's funny, I told this to Willie earlier. My son coaches for the Saints in New Orleans, and they saw where we're going to play Tulane in New Orleans. So my wife is so happy, and my son is so happy we're going to New Orleans to play Willie. I'm like, the only chance I had to beat him was going to come to the dang Alamo Dome. We don't need to be going to New Orleans to play Willie. So it's going to be a great league. I'm excited about it. And truly, I mean this, to be on the stage with these two guys, two of the finest guys in the business, and they're really good at what they do. So I'm honored to be up here with these guys.
Absolutely. All three of you gentlemen are as good as it comes in college football. So you've all kind of referenced it. Portal, NIL. We'll go around the horn here. I think most people agree that on its base level, there's some real positives with the portal. There's some real positives with NIL. Mixed together at the same time with no regulations, it gets a little crazy. If college football came to each of you gentlemen, one at a time, please, what would be your recommendation? Are there things that they can do to regulate some things or make it to where it makes more sense for players, coaches, and programs across the country?
I'll let Sonny go. Go ahead,
Yeah. Man.
I told you I was putting your feet to the fire.
Yeah, being right here on first base is tough. Look, I think that, as you said, Dusty, I think it's really true what you said. The transfer portal, I think, is good. I think in a lot of ways. I think it gives players opportunities. I think NIL is good as well. I think it rewards players for their abilities, which are special and very valuable. But the combination of those two things can make it really difficult on us coaches. It just, it gives a little bit of free agency in college football, which I don't necessarily think is a great thing. But at the same time, it's good for our players. I really, truly believe it does give them opportunities if they make good decisions. And I think it really shows how important it is for these players to be thoughtful about what they do, how they do it, who they talk to. They're going to need to lean on people that really care about them, their high school coaches, people that know a little bit about decision-making when it comes to transferring, not transferring, all of those factors. It's complicated. It's tough on us as coaches, but I think anything that empowers players is always a positive thing.
Coach Fritz?
Well, I know everybody talks about you got to recruit your own roster now because of the NIL and also because of the transfer portal. I think these guys have always done it every year they've been involved in coaching. I know I have. We've always wanted our guys to have great experiences, and it's important, to understand that, it's not going to change and go back. It's how it is right now, and I think it's very positive for college football. We just need to have a little bit of regulation with it, and I think it's going to come over the next couple of years.
Coach Traylor, same question, but, tampering, coaches, people reaching out to players on rosters before they're in the portal. We know what happens. You kind of got on social media and voiced your displeasure with it, which personally I think is great. I think the more coaches that happens to, they voice it, maybe something will change. Your opinion on what maybe could change to help make this a better system?
Well, whenever you have a rule and you don't have the ability to enforce a rule, it's not a rule. And I give the analogy, if you have speed limit 70 and there's nobody out there patrolling the streets, I doubt many of us are going to drive 70. Some of us will. The guy that's driving 70 is not going to get benefited. It's the guy that's driving 90, breaking the rules, going to get benefited. He's going to get there faster than us, right? So if you're going to have a rule, it needs to be enforced. And I don't know that we had the manpower to enforce it. The name, image, and likeness in itself is good. Those kids should be able to use their name, their image, and their likeness, right? The transfer portal is good. If you are a kid that's gone somewhere and you have a better opportunity to play somewhere else, all of us are for that. When a coach says it, it's going to come across as the coaches are against the players. That's the furthest thing from the truth. It's when the third party's getting involved that you can't prove it. And they're getting to a player saying, if you go to this school, I know I can get you this much money. He's charging a kid a certain percentage to get that kid there. That kid's confused. Willie's trying to coach him. Sonny's trying to coach him. We don't know why he's not bought in because he's got somebody in his ear right now. Like Coach Dyke said, they're going to have to be getting people in their ears that are really informed, have their best interest at heart. So all of this together is good. I repeat what Willie said. We're going to work it all out. We're going to figure it out. The game's too good. Yep. It's a great game. Phenomenal. And we'll get it figured out. It's just we're going to have to get through some of this. And I just hope there's not many casualties along the way.
And I think we all agree it's not going away. It's only going to continue to move forward. All right, you guys have been working the phones all night. I've been seeing you. This job never turns off. Has to every now and again. This is one for all of you. I'll start with you, Coach Fritz. When you can turn it off, if you can, what does Coach Willie Fritz like to do in his downtime?
Not a whole lot, to be honest with you.
Relax?
I guess I can say this. I sit by my pool and drink a couple Natty Lights, and that's a fun time for me.
That's the best answer of the night, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't fish, I don't hunt, I don't golf. So I spend time with my family. I got my wife and my daughters out there, and I guess that's one way I relax.
Is it a floaty? You got a floaty out there?
I
floating
stand
around?
on the edge of the pool, and
I love it.
not much to it, Dusty.
Absolutely love it. Coach Dyke, same for you. And again, I know you guys never really turn it off, but if you get a chance to, what do you like to do to unwind?
Yeah, you know, Kate and I, my wife here, Kate, we have 14, 11-year-old daughters. And so our 14-year-old's a dancer. We love watching her dance. My 11-year-old's into cheer. Love watching her cheer. And then my 6-year-old son, Daniel, love watching him tear stuff up and break things. And whatever he's into, I mean, he's basketball and football and baseball and all the stuff. And, you know, and that's the thing. I will say this, and I want to make this point. You know, I saw Coach Stoops when I was a young coach give an interview one time talking about how he drove his kids to school every day. And, you know, that meant so much to me. You know, my dad was kind of old school and probably regrets not spending more time with us as kids. And, you know, you can still be a Hall of Fame coach like Bob Stoops, and you can still have a relationship with your kids and be a good husband and a good father. And I want to thank Coach Stoops for being a role model for all of us in that regard. And that's what we try to do. Just spend time with our kids, enjoy them, be a part of their life, and get into whatever they're into.
That's great. Coach Traylor?
Yeah, I've got a son that's 29, Jordan, that I'm going to go to New Orleans whenever I can see him. I've got a son, Jake, is 25, and a daughter, JC, is 22, and they're in Manhattan, and I'm from Gilmer, so I mean, you can see what that's like, me going up to Manhattan, but I'm gonna do that. My wife, Carrie, and I have been married for 31 years, and she brought home this little 8-pound furry animal that moves around. It's like a stuffed animal, but it barks sometimes, named Izzy, and that's about it. That's all I got, and that's about it.
That's great. I got one last question. We are here at this amazing event, and we're here for the American Heart Association. This one's for you, Coach Dykes. I mentioned it earlier in the show, and I can call Coach Leach a friend. I had a chance to spend a lot of time with him. Great man, great coach. You obviously worked for him. You spent a lot of time with him. What does Coach Leach mean to you? What did he mean to the game of football?
Yeah, I think in some ways it's really hard to put a value on what Mike Leach did for football. I mean, I think he changed the game. You know, there's so many of us that had the privilege of working for Coach, and as players or as coaches, you know, I had a chance to be Mike's graduate assistant in 1997 at Kentucky, and had a chance to be on his first staff at Texas Tech for 7 years. And, you know, there was nobody that was more innovative, nobody more creative, nobody more real, really, in our profession. He was himself, you know, and he was never afraid to try something different, to think outside the box. And, you know, I think it helped change football. It really did. And the football that's played today was probably more influenced by Mike Leach than anybody else that I can certainly think of, and certainly in this generation. And so, you know, it was tough to lose him this year. He meant a lot to so many people. It was a real inspiration for all of us. And, you know, I think in so many ways I felt his presence this year, you know, where we were playing. And, you know, he just meant a lot to me personally.
That's incredible. Meant to a lot of people. Coach Stoops brought him to the Big 12. It changed Big 12 football. I mean, it did. And I had to play against Coach Leach's teams, and I always had to get my cleats out ready to run because he was going to run us all over the field. Again, our thoughts, our prayers are with Coach Leach's family as they're still working through his loss. Guys, incredible stuff. Happy for each and every one of you. Fantastic seasons. All of you have a great opportunity to win one of the most prestigious coaching awards there is. Best of luck, and thanks so much for the time here tonight. And on that note, we will be right back.
Coming up next, the 2022 American Heart Association Paul Bear Bryant Awards Coach of the Year winner. ladies and gentlemen, here to announce the 2022 American Heart Association Paul Bear Bryant Awards Coach of the Year winner. Please welcome Bryant Family Representative Mark Bryant Tyson, Board Vice President of the National Sports Media Association Robert Josie Eggleston, Executive Director of the National Sports Media Association Dave Gorin, and Manager, Risk Advisory Services for Weaver, Joshua Castile.
The Bear Bryant Coach of the Year Award is voted on by members of the National Sports Media Association, the Bryant Awards Executive Leadership Team, past Coach of the Year winners, and the results are calculated by Weaver. Mark, will you please do the honors?
Thank you, Dusty. It's always a fun night, and I just love being here, and thank y'all for, I'm 60 years old now, and I get to talk about my grandfather. How many people get to do that? So just hearing the compliments, I really appreciate all the kind words. A few things I wanted to say first is this past few weeks with Coach Leach and then DeMar, it really touched all of us. And I think of bringing us together for the Heart Association and what it truly means. My grandfather died in the hospital having a heart attack. So you think of the stories we hear, and for that to happen. And I'm a big Tony Dungy fan, and I wanted to read a tweet that he put out. But it says, as I walk this morning, this is from Tony Dungy, as I walk this morning, I thank God for how he has watched over DeMar Hamlin. I couldn't help but think of Romans 8:28 and God working through a tragedy to help unify us. Over the last week, I think we realized that life is too important to let differences separate us. Amen. And I think we all need to be brought together to just know what a wonderful God we have, and the Heart Association, what it does for incredible to defeat this disease for all these years, and the improvements of somebody like DeMar on the field to be able to turn around compared to my grandfather dying in the hospital of a heart attack. Thank you, Heart Association, for what you do. Just a wonderful cause. Let's give the Heart Association a round of applause. Now, congrats to these coaches. What a season. I mean, I've seen a lot of years of football, but for the pleasure they put us through this year, it was incredible. And I don't know how you pick a winner. I mean, unbelievable. And to hear this format, Dusty, what a great job with those questions. Fabulous job tonight. Thank you for what you did. And I always, before I open, thank the most important group, and that's my wife, Lissa, is here tonight, and for the spouses of these coaches, if you'll stand up. The spouses, what they do. Y'all don't know. They're the real winners. They're the ones that keep this thing together. I promise you. I see Sonny over here nodding his head. They're the key. You know, my grandfather used to ride on the first bus. Nobody wanted to ride with him. I called him Papa. My grandmother, Gran, she was on the second bus. Everybody talked and had a good time on that one. She wouldn't ride with Papa, so I know how the spouses are. Anyway, now it is for the opening of the winner. Make a hard envelope this year. And the winner is Sonny Dykes, TCU.
Wow, what an honor just to be mentioned with the coaches that were nominated. It's a real privilege. I accept this award on behalf of TCU and most importantly our players. as was alluded to earlier, we're only as good as coaches as our players are at playing. And, you know, I'm blessed every day to have a chance to work with some of the finest young people that I've ever had a chance to be around in my life. The dedication, the hard work, the effort those guys put in was really something to behold this year. And I was just proud to be part of the journey and along for the ride in so many ways. I want to thank the American Heart Association for what they do to save lives. I want to thank Marathon Oil for sponsoring this fantastic event. It's just a real honor and a privilege to get to do what I do every day and be around young people. I really, truly believe I learn a lot more from them than they learn from me, and it's a real privilege. I want to thank my family. My sister Bibi and her husband Larry are here. I want to thank Kate. She's meant the world to me. In our profession, we have a lot of ups and downs. It's not an easy way to make a living sometimes, and Kate's always been my rock, and she believes in me through thick and thin, and so I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I want to say shout out to my kids watching at home on television. Allie, Charlie, and Daniel, love you guys. Can't wait to get home. And again, just want to thank TCU for believing in me and giving me an opportunity to coach these great young men. And congratulations again to the finalists of this award. Thank you so much.
You can lift that up, Coach. I know you've been lifting weights. Go ahead. All right, here we go. Another round of applause. Congratulations to Coach Sonny Dykes. Unbelievably well-deserved. And thank you all for joining us tonight here in Houston and watching from across the country. Thank you again to our presenting sponsor, Marathon Oil, as well as the rest of our sponsors and attendees. It has been a special night that we hope you truly enjoyed. If you haven't already, please take a moment to support the life-saving mission of the American Heart Association by scanning the QR code on your screen or texting BEAR23 to 41444. We're thrilled to announce Doug Lawson of St. Luke's Health will chair the 2024 American Heart Association Bear Bryant Award Ceremony, which will once again be presented by Marathon Oil. We look forward to seeing you all again next year on January 10th, just 2 days after the national championship is played right here in the great city of Houston. Thank you guys for putting up with me all night. It's been an awesome and very exciting evening. For now, good evening from Houston, Texas.